tatta dhinta takita dhimta dhinta tam.
Hello there, welcome to my channel. This is Padma, and on this channel I share with you the dance and philosophy from ancient goddess tradition from my culture, which is India. And today I'm going to share with you a very intriguing practice. It is about divine deception, indeed. How can divine and deception go together? But here it is, this ancient practice of deception. And it came to me because it feels like there is a lot of this energy around us. And it's always there. If you look at nature, nature is very deceptive. You can think about animals that camouflage themselves, chameleons that change color, the things that plants do to attract pollination. So there is deception everywhere in nature. Our minds are great tricksters. Our minds are capable of great deception. In fact, the very story that the mind tells us that we can actually understand reality, that itself is its greatest deception. So in ancient times, deception was a very important embodied practice, not just in the Indian tradition, but in traditions across many cultures in the world. And this is because if we don't really encounter, experience deception, we will never fully encounter reality. We will never encounter reality in her multidimensionality, in her ambiguity, because it is never that what we see is what it is. You know, we describe reality, we have made reality into a composition of text and words, but the word or the description is never the thing itself. And so this practice in ancient times was a way for us to be alive fully, to be present, to be able to handle the ambiguity, because what it proposes is that deception is a natural energy, that it is never really possible to completely understand what is going on. There is always ambiguity. And we are also the same way. We are also ambiguous. We are not the flattened stories that we create about ourselves or the mind creates about us. So there is this unknowable, the mystery or the ambiguity also within us. And there is an intelligence in encountering it in that fullness, in that ambiguity, without the demand that we have to flatten it or we have to make it linear. Or we have to make it understandable, because in doing that, the reality doesn't change, but then we end up deceiving ourselves. So let me share this incredible practice with you. It is actually a very deep and a very large practice, but I'll share a couple of elements with you just to give you a taste about this deception. It's called dhurta in the dance practice. It's the dhurta practice. So here it is. We're going to start with stealth. So when you want to deceive, consider that you are a bandit or a robber, because actually ancient Shiva, in his form as Rudra, he was actually called the leader of a band of robbers, and that goes to this quality of divine deception. So if we are going to be a bandit, and we are stealthy, so we are in the dead of the night. Here we are in the forest, and we are walking very stealthily. So the hand is this split mudra. You know, it's like the forked tongue. Nothing is what you see. And we want to conceal ourselves. So we go to the first stage of stealth, which is concealing. So you want to conceal. You want to hide yourself. I might go and conceal myself behind this tree, for example. I conceal myself. So in order to do that, I try and align with the shape of the tree. Just like an animal, I don't know if I'm doing it very well, but I hope you can extend the rest with your imagination. But if an animal wanted to hide, it kind of conceals itself, camouflages, it becomes part of nature around it. So here I am trying to be one with the shape of this tree as much as possible. So in that concealing, what I lose is my separation. So I don't want to, if I want to be stealthy, I don't want to be drawing attention to myself. I don't want to be asserting myself and stamping across the space. I want to do this in a very hidden way, so that you can also use your hands and do that hiding. And what I invite you to do is to go beyond the word, because particularly in deception, we have to really travel beyond the word and just be with this sensation when you think, rather than wanting to be seen, you actually want to be invisible. You don't want to be there. You want to be invisible. And so in this sensation, there is this surrender of all that we know, the story, this us, this separation. When I was behind the tree, I really felt like I was just becoming one with this forest. I was not separated, and I was becoming one with the forest. So that is the sensation of concealing. Now, keeping that sensation in the body, we're going to go to stealth. So stealth, the first element of stealth, concealment. And now we go to how do we move with that concealment with a hand so it's like we become the other. We become something else, not ourselves. We become the forest. And when we are stealthy, the eyes it's almost like you have 360-degree awareness. I'm actually very concerned, very attentive, listening more than what is in front of me. I am listening to what is beside me, behind me. So the eyes are side to side, very spread. It's not linear. And the feet, the body is compact, and you tread with great care and lightness. As I'm doing this, I really feel like an animal, stalking its prey, without making a noise. And really sense that. Be with the sensation. Drop the story about the words. We have such stories about deception and stealth. I'm inviting you to just come into the sensation here, because that's where the teaching will open up. And I will reflect on the teaching after. But I really am inviting you to feel that sensation and the concealment. And when you've done that a couple of times, just be with that awareness. It's like all my senses are so sharp. My awareness, I'm listening, I'm aware of every little rustle. And so the teaching of this practice is that we approach reality with a healthy dose of respect, not trampling through and not kind of bashing through, bringing everything that we know and our self-importance and all the knowledge and information that we have acquired, but just like a robber, a bandit in the forest, or a hunter which is also one of Shiva's forms, Shiva's manifestations. You see, all of this is going to the same dimension of our approach to reality, approach to nature, approach to the divine, approach to the goddess. And that is with great care, attention, 360-degree awareness. You know, don't assume that what you see is what it is, that there's always more than what we see. And why this practice is important in these times is because we are living in times of great churn everywhere. There's a lot of things happening. There are many stories, opinions, divisions about all these things. And the invitation here is that everything is ambiguous. There is more to everything than we see. And sometimes we do want to have that simple story, that flat story. But in doing so, we deceive ourselves. And so the invitation is to be compassionate, to be aware of that ambiguity, to be compassionate even to ourselves. Yes, we may be deceived. Yes, others may deceive us. And yes, we may deceive others. But it is all the energy of nature. And it also asks us to be astute, to bring that 360-degree awareness, to bring that respectful and rather wily intelligence, that to always probe what is behind something that may appear to be very flat. So I do hope that this will help you in these times. It's an incredible practice, and it's sometimes very difficult to put these practices into words. Deception in particular is very much an embodied practice. So enjoy the practice, have fun playing with the stealth and the concealment, and see what it brings up in you. See how it may change your response to the reality around you. Thank you for your company, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.